Now we continue our journey of Luna the lighthouse keeper and her friends. Take a deep breath and let your day melt away. Close your eyes gently, feeling the weight of your body sink into comfort. With each soft breath, release any lingering thoughts, allowing them to float like clouds in a quiet sky. Now imagine yourself stepping into Luna's world, a soothing seaside journey where every word is a soft lullaby, guiding you to a place of calm and rest. Let go and let the story carry you, drifting softly toward sleep. The evening mist hugged the rugged cliffs as Luna Everbright led her two faithful companions back to the safety of their seaside sanctuary. With each step toward Luna's lighthouse, also known as the Beacon of the Stars, their silhouettes melded with the thick fog that had rolled in from the vast ocean. "Almost home," Luna murmured, her voice a comforting lilt against the hush of the swirling sea air. Her long, wavy hair, dark as the midnight sky, flowed behind her like a banner of the night. She breathed in deeply, the familiar scent of brine and aged wood grounding her in the moment. Ahead of Luna, Ollie Whiskers, his sleek form barely distinguishable in the fog, zigzagged playfully along the path. His glossy fur caught the faint gleam of light from the beacon above, and he chirped animatedly, his tail swishing with delight. "Easy there, Ollie," laughed Luna, her eyes twinkling with affection for her energetic friend. "We wouldn't want you tumbling off into the fog." Above them, Lottie's sea wing soared with an elegance that seemed to defy the damp heaviness of the mist-laden air. Her feathers were as white as moonlight on snow, and she glided with a serenity that only those who had mastered the skies could possess. "A smooth sail, as always, Lottie," Luna called up to her, the owl's melodic reply floating down like a feather on the breeze. As they neared the lighthouse, a figure emerged from the shadows, standing firm and welcoming at the entrance. Captain Finn Sailsong, clad in his naval-inspired coat and tattered captain's hat, appeared like a guardian of olden tales. The soft glow of the lantern illuminated his weathered face and grizzled beard, casting him in a golden light that seemed to dance with the tales of his seafaring days. "Ahoy there, Luna!" Captain Finn's voice rang out, rich and warm as the hearth fires in winter. "And greetings to you too, Ollie and Lottie. What brings you three through such a mystical eve?" "Captain Finn, your visits are always a pleasant surprise," Luna replied, her expressive eyes reflecting the joy of seeing an old friend. Ollie bounded up to the captain, nudging his hand with a playful nose, while Lottie descended, perching herself upon the rocky ledge beside the door. "Wouldn't miss it for all the treasures of the deep," Captain Finn chuckled, his eyes crinkling with mirth as he extended a hand to Luna. "Now, let's get you all inside before this fog decides we're part of its domain." Together, they stepped into the warmth of Luna's lighthouse, where new tales awaited, and the promise of adventures stirred within the walls that had weathered countless stories. Luna smiled, her heart full, as the gentle sound of waves whispered secrets only the night could tell. "Captain Finn, the sea must have whispered our rendezvous tonight," Luna said, with a soft laugh, her eyes alight with the fondness she held for the old sailor. She brushed a stray lock of hair from her face, the misty sea air playing with her midnight tresses. "Indeed, Luna, the ocean's whispers are as clear to me as the stars above," Captain Finn replied, his voice a comforting rumble like distant thunder rolling over calm waters. His eyes, a reflection of years spent at sea, twinkled with the anticipation of sharing his latest voyage. "I've spun a tale or two since we last met that I believe will tickle your fancy." Luna's smile widened, and her heart fluttered like a sail in the wind. "Then let us waste no more time under this shrouded sky. Your stories are like lighthouse beams in the night, guiding us to worlds unseen." With a shared nod, they moved towards a secluded corner of the cliffside, where the lighthouse cast its protective glow. Ollie scampered onto the weathered bench beside Luna, his sleek body curling into a comfortable crescent, whiskers twitching contentedly. Lottie, ever the elegant observer, settled herself atop a sturdy rock, her white feathers ruffling slightly in the cool breeze. The fog around them seemed to embrace their little gathering, spinning a cocoon of privacy and enchantment. It swirled and twisted, performing an ancient dance choreographed by the breath of the ocean itself. The soft lap of waves against the shore played a rhythmic lullaby, harmonizing with the creaks and sighs of the lighthouse behind them. "Settle in now," Captain Finn said with a gentle chuckle, seeing his audience poised on the edge of their seats, or perches, as it were. For tonight's tide brings tales from the deep, where the water holds secrets and the brave dare to seek. Captain Finn cleared his throat, and the air around them seemed to hush in anticipation. "Out there, beyond where the horizon kisses the sky," he began, his voice rising and falling like the waves he so dearly loved, "there's a place where the sea whispers tales of its own." Luna leaned forward, her hands clasped together, as if to catch the words that spilled from Captain Finn's lips. The lighthouse's glow cast a halo around him, and his eyes sparkled with the fire of untold stories. "It was on a night much like this," he continued, gesturing to the enveloping fog, "when me crew and I found ourselves sailing through a blanket of mist so thick you could slice it with a mariner's blade." His hands mimed the action, slicing through the fog-laden air of their cozy nook. Luna's breath caught in her chest, her imagination already painting the scene. The silent ship, the shroud of mist, and the crew, eyes straining to pierce the veil before them. Then, without warning, Captain Finn's voice dropped to a whisper, causing Luna to inch closer. The sea itself came alive with light. Not just any light, mind you, but a living luminescence that danced beneath the waves. Her eyes widened in rapt attention, reflecting the glow from the lantern overhead. She imagined the dark water of the ocean suddenly alight with ethereal creatures, bobbing and weaving in an underwater ballet. "Jellyfish," Luna breathed out the word, picturing the delicate beings Captain Finn described. "Luminescent jellyfish?" "Indeed, Luna," the captain affirmed, nodding gravely before breaking into a broad grin. "A whole pod of 'em, like stars fallen from Stella's realm to swim in the deep." Luna's heart soared at the mention of her friend, the nurturing star. She pictured the jellyfish as celestial beings, their soft bodies glowing with an inner fire that rivaled the twinkle of stars. In her mind's eye, they pulsed gently, tentacles trailing behind them like the tails of comets. Each one glowed with a light so pure, so serene, Captain Finn went on, his arms spreading wide as if to encompass the breadth of the ocean. It was as if we'd sailed into a dream. "Could you touch them?" Luna asked, yearning evident in her tone. "Ah, now touching a jellyfish can be a tricky affair," he chuckled, "but these ones, they were harmless as moonbeams on a calm night." "Like moonbeams," Luna echoed softly, a smile playing on her lips as she imagined the cool glow of the jellyfish against her skin, a sensation both thrilling and tranquil. "Exactly like moonbeams," Captain Finn confirmed with a conspiratorial wink. "And just as quickly as they appeared, they vanished into the depths, leaving us sailors with nothing but the memory of their glow and the wonder in our hearts." In the comforting circle of their gathering, with the lighthouse standing sentinel and the fog cradling them in its gentle embrace, Luna felt a kinship with those sailors. She too was left with wonder in her heart, her dreams casting sails on seas both real and imagined. As Captain Finn's voice continued to rise and fall with the rhythm of the waves, a sudden tickle coaxed Luna from her reverie. She glanced down to find Ollie, the mischievous otter, nudging her hand with his cold, wet nose. A chuckle escaped her, light and airy as sea foam, breaking the spellbound silence that had enshrouded them. "Ollie Whiskers," she teased, her voice laced with affection as she scratched behind his ears. "Are you not enthralled by the captain's tale?" The otter chirped in response, his glossy fur shimmering under the lantern's glow as he rolled onto his back, paws playfully batting at the air. His antics were like a warm breeze on a chilly night, a reminder of the simple joys amidst the weight of mysterious seas and haunting tales. Meanwhile, Lottie Seawings, the venerable seagull perched upon her chosen rock, observed the scene with a knowing glance. Her head tilted ever so slightly, a silent gesture that seemed to catch each word of Captain Finn's story and tuck it beneath her wing. The occasional nod underscored her deep understanding, her serene presence a testament to the countless stories she too had witnessed throughout her many years by the sea. "Indeed, those jellyfish are marvels of the deep," Lottie interjected softly, her voice a soothing lullaby against the backdrop of the captain's more boisterous narration. Nature's own lanterns, lighting the way for those who dare to venture beyond the safety of shallows. "Ah, well put, dear Lottie," Captain Finn exclaimed, clearly pleased with her contribution. "A guiding light in the depths, much like our Luna's beacon above." Luna smiled, feeling a swell of pride for both her role as the lighthouse keeper and for her companions who shared this nightly vigil. In the cozy nook by Luna's lighthouse, tales of adventure and the quiet moments in between wove together into a tapestry rich with color and life, a whimsical comfort against the backdrop of the ceaseless sea. As Captain Finn's voice, rich with the salt of the sea, continued to unfurl his tale, the fog around the cozy nook seemed to carry whispers of its own. It swirled and danced, shimmering with ephemeral lights that mirrored the bioluminescent jellyfish of his story. The effect was mesmerizing, as if the very air around Luna and her friends pulsed with the life of those deep-sea wonders. "Ah, but that's not all," Captain Finn said, his eyes gleaming in anticipation. "Beyond the reach of our lighthouse lies a world seldom seen by human eyes." Luna leaned in, her curiosity piqued as she imagined the mysteries that lay beneath the waves. She had always felt a kinship with the ocean, its secrets calling to her like a siren song. "Imagine, if you will," Captain Finn's voice rose with excitement, "vast cities of coral, where merfolk dwell amongst towers of pearl and seaglass, streets aglow with the light of iridescent algae and music that weaves through water like the wind through our cliffs." "Merfolk cities?" Luna's voice was a whisper, tinged with awe. Her mind painted vivid images of undersea metropolises, vibrant with color and alive with otherworldly creatures. She pictured herself swimming alongside the merfolk, her hair flowing like kelp in the currents. "Indeed," Captain Finn chuckled, clearly delighted by her amazement. "And they say the merfolk are keepers of treasures unimaginable, their halls adorned with the bounty of 1,000 sunken ships." The thought of such splendor hidden just beneath the surface filled Luna with a sense of wonder. It was as though the stories she'd heard since childhood had sprung to life before her, each word from Captain Finn a brushstroke on the canvas of her imagination. "Could it be real?" Luna asked almost to herself. "Who's to say what's real and what's fancy when the world is full of such marvels?" Captain Finn replied, winking at her. The light from the lighthouse cast a soft glow over them, lending an air of enchantment to his words. "Perhaps one day you'll find out for yourself, Luna Everbright," he said with a knowing smile. "For someone with a heart as adventurous as yours, the sea has many secrets yet to share." Luna smiled back, her spirit buoyed by the tales and the magical haze of the evening. The lines between reality and the fantastical seemed to blur, just like the fog that wrapped around them, a warm blanket spun from the threads of dreams and the whispers of the ocean. The fog's embrace seemed to draw even closer, a tender shroud over the world as Captain Finn paused his tale, leaving room for a collective breath. In that quiet space, Luna watched Ollie, the snoozer, shift with a languid grace only an otter could master. He nestled at her feet, curling into a crescent of contentment. His eyes fluttered halfway before settling into a peaceful gaze, fixed on the endless dance of the shadows. "Looks like Ollie's decided it's time for dreams," Luna whispered, a smile playing on her lips as she reached down to gently stroke his sleek fur. The warmth from Ollie's body seeped into her soul, grounding her amidst the sea of Captain Finn's wondrous stories. "Even dreamers hold wisdom in their slumber," Lottie chimed in, her voice soft and resonant, like the gentle lap of waves against the lighthouse's steadfast walls. She perched elegantly on the cool rock, her white feathers catching the lantern's light in a silvery sheen. "Indeed," Luna replied, her eyes still fixed on Ollie. "Perhaps he's off exploring those merfolk cities in his own way." "Or perhaps," Lottie mused, "he reminds us that even in a world brimming with mysteries, there is solace in the simple joys, like a cozy nook by an old friend's side." "Simple joys," Captain Finn echoed, nodding with a grin as he leaned back against the lighthouse wall. "That's a treasure worth more than any pirate's hoard, I'll tell you that." Luna laughed softly, the sound blending harmoniously with the serene backdrop of the whispering sea. The warmth of companionship filled the air, as tangible as the misty tendrils of fog that twirled around them playfully. Luna felt her heart swell with gratitude for these moments, a perfect blend of adventure and tranquility, stories and silence, friendship and the ever-present sea. As Captain Finn's voice softened into the hush of the surrounding night, he leaned in closer to Luna and her companions, as if to share a secret meant only for their ears. "And now," he said with a conspiratorial wink, "for the tale of the moon jewel." Luna's attention was instantly ensnared. She leaned forward, her hands clasped together in anticipation, the fog around her seeming to hold its breath. "Legend tells of a treasure," Captain Finn began, his voice a whisper that carried on the night breeze. "A gem so pure and radiant, it rivals the glow of our dear moon. It's said to be hidden where the sea kisses the sky at the edge of the world, guarded by the stars themselves." Luna's eyes sparkled with the reflection of the lighthouse beacon, mirroring the celestial light of which Captain Finn spoke. Her thoughts danced with images of sailing through starlit waters, reaching out to touch the cool luminescence of the fabled moon jewel. "Many have sought this treasure," continued Captain Finn, "but it eludes the grasp of those who seek greedily. Only a heart as boundless as the ocean itself may claim the moon jewel." "Like finding a friend in a sea of strangers," Luna murmured, more to herself than to the group, her mind adrift on the currents of Captain Finn's tale. "Exactly so," Captain Finn affirmed with a nod, his eyes crinkling with a knowing smile. A serene quietude settled over them then, as if the very air wished to savor the stories that had been spun. The group shared a moment of silence, each lost in their reverie, immersed in the lingering enchantment of the tales. The sound of the waves provided a gentle symphony, a soothing lullaby that sang of ancient rhythms and timeless voyages. The lighthouse stood watchful and steady, its light a silent guardian over the scene, casting a warm aura that seemed to embrace the little gathering. Fog curled around them like a soft blanket, and in the distance, the rhythmic chant of the sea whispered promises of dreams yet to be dreamt and horizons yet to be explored. Lottie, still perched gracefully, closed her eyes, her feathers ruffling slightly in the breeze. Ollie, nestled at Luna's feet, let out a contented sigh, surrendering to the tranquil cadence of the waves. And Luna, her heart sailing on waves of wonder, held the stories close, like precious pearls strung upon the strings of her soul. In the companionable quiet, Luna, Ollie, Lottie, and Captain Finn found themselves adrift on an ocean of imagination, buoyed by the ebb and flow of narrative and the steadfast pulse of the sea. Luna leaned forward, her hands clasped around her knees as she turned to Captain Finn with a smile that radiated through the lifting fog. "Captain Finn, your stories are like stars. They light up the darkest nights and guide us towards dreams we never knew we had," she said, her voice carrying the melody of gratitude. The old sea captain tipped his tattered hat, the corners of his eyes crinkling into a map of mirth. "Ah, Luna, it's nothing but a few tales blown in by the wind," he replied humbly, though the twinkle in his eye betrayed his pleasure. A gentle breeze wandered through the nook, carrying with it the fading whispers of the mist. As it did, the first hints of dawn began to touch the edges of the sky, painting it with streaks of pink and gold. The world was waking, stretching its limbs after the embrace of night, and with it, the promise of new horizons seemed to unfold before them. "Every time you visit, it feels like the lighthouse shines brighter than ever," Luna continued, standing up from the weathered bench and wrapping her arms around herself as she looked out to where the sea and sky were beginning to meet in morning's light. Captain Finn chuckled, his gaze following hers. Maybe so, but remember, Luna, each time I leave, I take a bit of this lighthouse's glow with me out to sea. Keeps the heart warm and the spirit ready for what's over the next wave." The fog, now retreating under the advance of the sun, revealed the cove's secrets once more. The boulders stood sentinel as ever, and the waves lapped at the shore like playful puppies, eager for attention. Ollie stirred from his curled position, his nose twitching as if catching the scent of adventure on the breeze. "Thank you, Captain Finn, for sharing your world with us," Luna said softly, her eyes alight with the spark of new dreams. "You filled our night with wonders, and who knows, maybe one day I'll find my own moon jewel." "Or maybe it'll find you," Captain Finn replied with a knowing nod. "The sea has its ways, Luna. Keep your heart open and your lantern lit, and there's no telling what will come ashore." With those parting words, the captain turned to head down the cliff path, leaving Luna, Ollie, and Lottie to face the dawning day. The air was clear now, the sea calm and inviting, as if all the elements conspired to whisper of adventures yet to come. Luna watched Captain Finn's retreating figure, her thoughts adrift on possibilities and the endless dance of the ocean's tides. "Come on, Ollie, Lottie," she said, her voice tinged with excitement. "Let's see what the tide has brought us today." And together they moved towards the day's new discoveries, the sea's eternal song, their guiding refrain. Luna Everbright stood at the very edge of the lighthouse balcony, her silhouette outlined by the beacon of the star's warm glow. She raised a hand, waving as Captain Finn's ship grew smaller, a receding speck in the lifting fog. "Thank you for the stories, old salty," Luna called out, her voice dancing on the wind with a warmth that could soften even the bristliest of sea urchins. "May your sails always catch fair winds." Down below, the captain's figure tipped his hat in response, though he was now more shadow than man against the whispering mist. A chuckle escaped Luna's lips, imagining the captain's tales, woven with creatures and currents no chart could capture. With a tender sigh, she turned from the railing, her gaze lingering on the horizon where the sea kissed the sky goodnight. The time had come to retreat from her perch above the world, and so, with the stars as her silent company, Luna moved toward the spiral staircase. Each footfall resonated softly against the weathered stone, the sound a cozy lullaby that spoke of homecoming and hearth fires. There was no rush in her step. Her movements were as measured and calm as the tide at slumber. The evening's adventures with Captain Finn had left a trove of images swirling in her mind, each one sparkling like a gem plucked from deep waters. As she descended, the lantern's flicker painted a golden trail on the walls, shadows playing hide-and-seek among the seashell garlands and nautical maps. It was as if the lighthouse itself was partaking in a gentle jest with the retreating night. Luna's fingers trailed along the banister, her touch light, almost a caress for the steadfast companion that was her lighthouse. Another night, another memory tucked away between these sturdy walls, she mused aloud, her tone as soft as the downy feathers of an eider duck. And what a fine memory it is. The staircase curled around and around, a dance Luna had mastered through countless nights just like this one. Yet each descent felt like a new chapter in a book she never tired of reading, its pages endless, its tales boundless, much like the ocean that whispered promises of tomorrow's wonders. Finally reaching the bottom, Luna paused, a reverent end to her journey from sky to earth. She smiled to herself, the echo of laughter and lore still humming in her heart as the beacon continued its vigilant watch over the slumbering sea. Luna stepped through the weathered door of the lighthouse and into the embrace of the nocturnal world. The night air greeted her, a familiar friend bearing the scent of salt and promise. She closed her eyes for a moment, taking a deep breath that filled her lungs with cool mist, its touch as tender as a seafoam kiss upon her skin. A contented smile graced her lips. "Ah, there you are," she whispered to the ocean, her voice carried on the breeze like a secret shared between old companions. With the lantern in her hand, casting a golden halo around her, Luna began her nightly pilgrimage along the path leading to her cherished nook. Each step was a gentle press against the earth, her footfalls a quiet rhythm, harmonizing with the distant symphony of crashing waves. Pebbles and worn rocks, bathed in the lantern's glow, seemed to nod in silent acknowledgement of her passage. "Nearly there now," she murmured encouragingly, as if the path itself needed reassurance. The soft gleam of Stella Celestia above watched over her journey, a celestial guardian ensuring safe travels. Luna glanced up, her eyes reflecting the starlight, and offered a silent nod of gratitude. She knew Stella couldn't respond as the people did, but in the comfort of the night, it felt right to acknowledge the stars' quiet vigil. "Steady on, my guiding light," Luna said, a playful note in her voice. "Not all who wander are lost, but it's always nice to have a friend watching over." Her practiced feet knew every twist and turn of the path, each step a testament to the countless times she had walked this route. It was as if she and the path were two dancers in a slow, swaying waltz, intimately aware of each other's moves. "Almost time to rest, my rocky guardians," Luna called out softly as the boulders of her favorite nook came into view. The lantern's warm light danced ahead of her, chasing away shadows and welcoming her to the sanctuary she sought. As the sea sang its endless lullaby, Luna felt the day's memories settle around her like a quilt woven from threads of adventure and serenity. Soon, she would add another sketch to her collection, another story to her soul, but for now, she simply savored the tranquility of her seaside retreat. Luna nestled herself comfortably between the boulders, the day's warmth still lingering in the granite cradle that had become her tranquil refuge. She shifted slightly, stones shifting beneath her, until she found the perfect indentation for her body, a natural armchair formed by time and tides. With a contented sigh, she let her head rest against the sturdy backrest nature had provided. From her satchel, she drew forth her treasured sketchbook, its leather cover worn smooth from countless openings and closings. It creaked softly, like an old friend whispering a greeting as she flipped through the pages. Her fingers danced over textured paper, pausing at a drawing that captured not just an image but a moment. A sand dollar, its intricate pattern rendered with loving precision. "Ah, my lovely echinoderm," Luna murmured with affectionate amusement, recalling the day it had appeared on the shore, a hidden gem amongst pebbles and seaweed. Her smile broadened as she remembered the excitement that bubbled within her as she sketched, the world narrowing down to the delicate lines and shadows under her pencil. You were quite the shy one, weren't you, hiding beneath the frothy lace of the receding tide? The memory was vivid, the sun high and bright overhead, seagulls calling out as if sharing in her delight. It was moments like these, caught within the worn pages of her book, that wove the tapestry of her life by the ocean, each thread a story, each color a feeling. Every time I see you, it's like uncovering a secret all over again, she said to the drawing, her voice tinged with whimsy. The sketchbook seemed to hold a life of its own, brimming with past adventures waiting to be revisited, each page a doorway to another day, another discovery. Her eyes lingered on the sand dollar, her heart echoing the gentle rhythm of waves outside her rocky hideaway. And there, surrounded by the enduring embrace of the boulders and the soft serenade of the sea, Luna added another layer to the rich tapestry of her cozy, whimsical world. Luna opened her sketchbook to a fresh page, the blank expanse as inviting as the open sea. With a soft flicker of anticipation in her heart, she drew her pencil across the paper, lines blossoming into shapes that echoed the treasures the ocean had bestowed upon her that evening, a delicate seashell, a strand of emerald seaweed, and a stone smoothed by countless tides. "Stella," Luna whispered, glancing upward toward the oldest star hanging in the velvet sky. Tonight the sea was particularly generous. I feel as if it shares its secrets with me one wave at a time. The faintest twinkle emanated from Stella Celestia, who had been watching over Luna with the gentle vigilance only an ancient star could muster. "Dear Luna," Stella's voice danced through the air, soft as the light from a distant lighthouse. "The ocean reveals its treasures to those who listen with their hearts. Your spirit is attuned to its ebb and flow. Sometimes I dream of venturing further than the shore, beyond the horizon," Luna confided, her pencil pausing as she imagined the mysteries lying beneath the vast expanse of water. What wonders must be out there, just waiting to be discovered? "Ah, but the horizon you seek," Stella hummed thoughtfully. "It is not merely a boundary, but a promise. Each sunrise and sunset paints it with new colors, urging you to keep dreaming, to keep exploring." Luna smiled, comforted by the star's wisdom. "And what about when the night feels too immense, Stella? When the darkness seems to swallow the shore? Remember, my dear," the star's voice enveloped Luna like a warm shawl, "even in the darkest nights, my light, though far, remains steadfast. Your lighthouse beacon and my celestial glow are siblings in purpose. We guide the lost back home." "Home," Luna repeated, her hand resuming its dance on the page, her dreams taking shape alongside her drawings. "You're right, Stella. As long as we shine our lights, there will always be a way back." "Exactly so," Stella's twinkling laughter mingled with the hush of waves. "Keep charting your course by the stars, and you'll find that adventures come in many forms, some as vast as the ocean, others as close as the pages of your sketchbook." "Thank you, Stella," Luna said, her voice a tender note in their nocturne of conversation. "With friends like you, even the quietest night is filled with companionship and wonder." "Always," Stella affirmed, her glow a steady beacon in the tapestry of the cosmos. "I am here, watching over you and your dreams." As Luna finished her sketches, the dialogue with her celestial friend left her heart aglow with reassurance. The night wrapped around her like a comforting blanket, the melodious exchange between keeper and star fading into the symphony of the sleeping world. Luna's gaze drifted from the parchment, where a constellation of inked sea creatures swirled in an underwater dance, to the heavens above. Stars pierced the velvet night, each twinkle a silent hymn of the infinite. She caught Stella Celestia's steady gleam among them, a lighthouse in the celestial sea. "Stella," Luna murmured, her voice a soft breeze that carried the weight of her thoughts through the ether. "Your wisdom is as boundless as the sky itself." "Dear Luna," Stella replied, her voice the gentlest rustle of leaves, "all I offer is but a reflection of the light you hold within." Luna smiled, feeling the truth of Stella's words resonate deep in her soul. As she turned her attention back to her sketchbook, the stars seemed to dance upon the page, their silvery light mingling with the graphite shades of her drawing. The ocean serenaded them from afar, its rhythmic crashes a soothing bass line to their discourse. Waves tirelessly sculpted the shore, a master artist eternally at work. The cool night breeze whispered secrets only the cliffs could hear, and it playfully ruffled Luna's hair, making her shiver with delight. "Each wave brings a new story to shore," Luna said thoughtfully, tracing the outline of a seashell on her paper, her fingers mimicking the rolling tide. "And with each breath of the sea wind, I feel more connected to the world around me." "Ah, but remember," Stella intoned, her light flickering like a candle caught in a draught, "it is not just the grand tales, but also the quiet moments that shape our journeys." "Indeed," Luna agreed, her eyes still moving between sky and paper. "There is magic in the mundane, isn't there? In the ebb and flow, the simple act of breathing in the sea's embrace." "Exactly so," Stella affirmed warmly. The soft glow of her light seemed to hug Luna from afar, wrapping her in celestial comfort. As they spoke, Luna found herself lulled by the symphony of natural sounds, the waves' cadence and the rustling wind. It was as if the universe itself was playing a lullaby composed just for her, the notes undulating with the rise and fall of the tides. Luna let the sensation of peace wash over her, a wave of contentment that needed no words. "Thank you, Stella," Luna sighed, closing her eyes for a brief moment to soak in the tranquility, "for reminding me to find harmony in the whispers of the world." "Always, Luna," Stella responded, her tone a tender caress amidst the nocturnal chorus. "Just as the moon guides the tides, let your heart guide your dreams." With that, the conversation gently waned, leaving Luna wrapped in a blanket of star-studded silence. Her hand paused upon the sketchbook, and she allowed herself to be fully present in the embrace of the night, enveloped in the whimsical, cozy world she called home. Luna's pencil danced across the page, giving life to the wonders she had encountered that day. With each stroke, her collection of sea-inspired sketches grew more vibrant and detailed. The charcoal captured the essence of the ocean's treasures, from the intricate patterns on a seashell to the delicate fronds of seaweed that swirled in her memory like dancers in the deep. But as the night drew on, the excitement of creation gave way to a gentle fatigue. Luna could feel the weight of her eyelids increasing, as if they too were being lulled by the ocean's song. She hesitated for a moment, her hand hovering over the paper, then added one final flourish to her artwork, a tiny starfish in the corner, a nod to her friend Stella Celestia above. "Another evening well spent," Luna whispered to herself, her voice a soft echo in the quiet space between the boulders. She closed her sketchbook with care, the sound blending seamlessly with the rhythmic lapping of waves nearby. A satisfied sigh escaped her lips, and she placed the book beside her, its pages safe within the leather-bound cover that held so many of her seaside tales. Leaning back against the familiar contours of the boulders, Luna's gaze settled on the horizon. There, the indigo sky kissed the silver sea, a line of poetry that stretched as far as the eye could see. The stars shimmered like a scattering of diamond dust on velvet, and the moon cast a silvery path upon the water, a bridge to the unknown. "Imagine what lies beyond," she mused, letting her thoughts sail away on the tide of dreams. Her mind was a vessel, adrift on the vast canvas of her imagination. She pictured herself aboard Captain Finn's ship, navigating through uncharted waters teeming with fantastical creatures. Mermaids with shimmering tails, wise old turtles charting the currents, and schools of fish that glowed like underwater constellations. "Perhaps tomorrow," she said with a playful smile, "I'll find a map in a bottle, or a compass that points to the stars." It was these musings that filled Luna's heart with joy, the endless possibilities wrapped in the mystery of the sea. The night air was cool and kind, a gentle caress against her skin as she sat there, nestled between the earth and the infinite expanse of the ocean. And though her body remained anchored to the shore, Luna's spirit was free, roaming the depths where reality blended with the fathomless realm of sleep's precursor. "Good night, dear ocean," she breathed out, "and thank you for the dreams you bring." Luna's eyes lingered on the liquid horizon, her vision a kaleidoscope of twilight hues, until the gentle pull of impending slumber tugged at her consciousness, inviting her to rest at last. Luna's eyelids, now as delicate as moth wings, fluttered closed with the finality of a soft-spoken goodnight. The rhythmic serenade of the waves, cascading against the rocks below, became her lullaby, its tempo steady and soothing, like a gentle heartbeat beneath the moonlit sky. Each breath she drew melded with the ebb and flow of the tides, deepening, slowing, until her chest rose and fell in harmony with the ocean's pulse. A serene smile played upon her lips, the corners curling with the secret joy of dreams yet to be woven from the night's tapestry. As sleep's tender tendrils enfolded her in their embrace, Luna surrendered to the quiet hush blanketing the world, her peaceful repose a silent testament to the day's contentment. In the sanctuary of dreams, Luna soared. She danced upon the zephyrs that skimmed the endless oceans, where waters reflected the sapphire of the heavens, and the world was boundless. Below her, dolphins arched through the air, their silhouettes etched against the shimmering surface, like joyful acrobats at play in the vast aquatic stage. Their whistles and clicks, the laughter of the sea, rang clear and true, reverberating through the depths of her dream. The chapter of the night drew towards its whispering close with the haunting songs of distant whales. Their melodies, deep and otherworldly, echoed through Luna's dreams, intertwining with the symphony of the deep blue. It was a promise, a call to the morrow, heralding more adventures that lay beyond the veil of slumber, just over the horizon of her imagination. "Tomorrow," she murmured in the sanctuary of sleep, a vow cast upon the waters of possibility, "there will be new wonders to behold." And with that whispered pledge, Luna drifted deeper, caught in the gentle net of dreams where the sea cradled her spirit in its timeless dance.